AboutFace's mission is to cultivate equity and opportunity for individuals with a facial difference through supportive programming, advocacy, and education. Over the last several years, we as a society have talked a lot about diversity, about discrimination, and I think we've paid attention to that rightly. It's also fair to say that this room looks very different than it would have looked 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. And that's good. We are not perfect, obviously, but I think we as a society are and strive to be much more inclusive of people from all kinds of different backgrounds, racial, sexual, gender, religious, ethnic origin, place of origin. That's all for the good. The area where AboutFace focuses is one area where we haven't made as much progress as I think we'd like, which is people with facial differences. This is personal to me. My sister Lindsay was born almost 40 years ago with severe facial differences. Essentially, in utero, half of her face didn't develop properly. So if you look at her from one half, she looks like any other, what we don't want to call normal, but effectively normal person. From the other side, not. And when she was born, and my mom was recovering in the operating room after delivering, and a nurse commented that, quote, "that baby's a mess." So my sister at the point was like a few minutes old, not the best message. We have made some progress since then, but again, not nearly as much as I'd like. It would probably surprise a lot of people in this room that there are more than 2 million people in Canada today, more than 2 million Canadians, who have a facial difference. There are basically three kinds of facial difference. One is congenital. You're born with it, like my sister. Another is incidental, an accident, a fire, something like that. A third is episodic, like something called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Some of you interested in pop music, you don't need to put up your hands, may be familiar with Ramsay-Hunt syndrome because Justin Bieber recently announced that he's, I see some heads nodding, I won't call you out, recently announced that he has Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. Essentially, it's like a partial facial paralysis. Very bad for a singer, very tough for a lot of people. On September 22nd, we're launching a new campaign which I hope will be of interest to many people in this room. Our research indicates that about 3 in 5 people with a facial difference report being negatively impacted at work because of their facial difference. The launch of our My Difference Should Make No Difference campaign will raise awareness, we hope, to help people understand that facial differences usually are only skin deep, and that people with facial differences in Canada, in Ontario and Toronto, are fully capable of being valuable contributors at work, being good friends, being good potential partners, that they are able to work professionally and really exercise their full potential. So I know that I'm constrained on time, there's a lot more I could say, but we all want to work together for a society, a workplace, free of discrimination, free of barriers, and thank you all for all of the work that you do in helping all kinds of people realize their dream of a workplace and society free of barriers and free of discrimination. When you're interviewing, when you're reaching out for potential postings, I ask that you please give thought to the one, I won't say one area because I know it's more than one, but one area that we're talking about today that I'm talking about, which is an area where we've not made a lot of progress, which is facial differences. And do what you can, please, to make this a more inclusive society and more inclusive workplaces. Give us a follow on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, all the socials, Instagram, at AboutFace, not surprisingly. Thank you very much for your time. I may have gone a bit over. Thank you for complimenting my name. And I wish you a very successful end of the evening. Thanks a lot, everyone.